The action taking place in Doha, Qatar. Apparatus finals and the men's parallel bars up next. Those introduction, walkout, and 8 men out there, and it includes Sam Mikulik. Perhaps time running out. He's got a couple of events to try to medal, individual medal at the World Championships. And Terry Gannon, Nastia Lukin, Tim Daggett take you back to that men's team event and the mistakes.
Right off the bat, should have grabbed the bars, had to go to his upper arms, but after that point, Sam was phenomenal. Cost maybe 3-4 tenths of a point. Just beautiful work and really great nailing that landing.
Early mistake, but how about Artur Dalaloyan as it was coming down the team final between Russia and China?
Unbelievable.
You know, probably the last skill that he even thought twice about. Never probably questioned himself once.
Just didn't have his toes kind of going up and over enough. And maybe took it a little bit lightly, but he was a hurting unit after that.
You know, in the team finals, of course, only 3 people go up on each event. All 3 scores have to count. Of course, they had to count that fall. Just missing out on that gold medal.
Yeah, without question. If everything happened that happened and he stayed on P-bars, the Russians would have won.
Wow. But he came back then individually in the all-around and won that. So here's the start list. Sam Mikulik will be the first to go. Advantage, disadvantage?
Well, you know, you normally don't like to go first up, but for me, I personally did. I like to get it over with. You know, it's like the judging score at this point in the competition, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think it should make that big of a difference. Maybe day 1 of qualifications, you don't want to be in that first subdivision, but you still got to do your routine.
So here is the former Michigan star and the 5-time U.S. all-around champ.
Searching his first individual world medal. Handles that very well. You know, the one thing, though, historically, and he takes that little step of his hand, that'll be a 10th off. Historically, scores can sometimes rise. This is a great combo right here. And watch the flight from one end of the bars to the other. Really nice so far. Such a classical gymnast. Dismount. Needs to stick this right here. And he does.
Teammates, Yul Moldauer, such a big part of this world championship. Watching Sam Mikulik get this parallel bars event off to a very good start.
He really does, and I think, and this is what I have really loved ever since the all-around finals where he had that mistake. He has come back and really done a tremendous job. That pommel horse routine that we saw yesterday just finished out of the medals. But here, he did pretty much the best that he could possibly do. And now he has to wait for the rest of the field, the judges, of course, to score him as well.
Yeah, this was a great exercise without question. He had one very visible error where he took a step in the handstand, which he'll lose only a 10th of a point for that. But beyond that skill and a gorgeous dismount, this was a great effort.
Yul Moldauer, teammates happy, Sam happy.
But this is a very deep parallel bar field. I mean, there are some tremendous athletes still to come.
But anything can happen, as we just saw in the balance beam finals.
How about the number 15.233?
It's a very big number. You see that execution score, 8.833. That is ginormous.
And much better than he did in the qualifying. You track his numbers throughout. That is a great start. Gives himself a chance here. Sam Mikulik, he's got this and then one more final, the men's high bar. So the second man up as they prepare, 23-year-old from Xinjiang, China, Lin Xiaopan, who qualified 3rd, so a good number for him in qualifying, 15.266, and just over what Sam Mikulik just scored here. But often different in terms of competition than the qualifying.
Well, and there were a lot of 15s really in the qualifying round leading up to this final. So I think it's going to be, if everyone can manage to hit their routines, it is going to be a very close finish.
Without question, he's tremendous here. You see, he's got those pads around his arms. He does a lot of elements that slam down on the bar. They are obviously allowed with no deduction. Starts right here. That could have been better. Could have shown more open at the end of that skill. Nicely done. Another big release. Great. Oh, gorgeous. From one end to the other. Great height on that. Clearing the bars easily. A pretty great start of parallel bars. Double pike. Small little hop on the landing. And a little bit leaned forward. You know, doesn't get the open as he's reaching for the floor that the judges are looking for.
Lin, who came in 5th at the World Championships in parallel bars last year, but go all the way back to 2013. He shared the gold medal with Kohei Uchimura.
Very nice routine. Beautiful skill right here. Called a humna or a whippet. Great air on that. Hopefully we get to see this. It's called a bopsar. Look at how high his body is over those bars. Really nicely done. We'll see someone fly even higher, though, later on. His teammate, who's off the charts.
Is the double pike. He has to quickly see the ground and react quickly on impact.
So Mikulik, the number 15-2-3-3. That's what he's going after. Added another medal at the World Championships, part of that team effort for China, edging out Russia. Not enough, 15-2, and it's Mikulik who is still in first.
That is a very big thing for Sam Mikulak. You know, he had the 3rd highest score. Xiaopan did. Lin Xiaopan in the qualifying.
So on to the 3rd man on parallel bars, the 24-year-old from Colombia, Josimar Calvo, who as a child lived in a house with his mom, small house with a dirt floor, tin roof. He had to walk to training, struggled with malnutrition, took growth hormones. Doctors said when he was 14, he had the bone structure of a 10-year-old, and here he is on the world stage competing against the best.
And, you know, he has long had some of the most difficult gymnastics in the world, but has struggled to perform it and execute it well enough to factor in. This is so hard. That peach to one bar. Oh boy, right there. He's got a couple of different deductions on that. The one thing that he does, but great height on that, but he sometimes his back arches a little bit. The judges like to see a completely board straight position. Another little hand shift there. Dismount, double front half. That was great, though.
The applause from Sam, but wondering, will he still be atop the leaderboard when we get the numbers for Josimar Calvo, the 24-year-old from Colombia. Success and been good routine so far in the parallel bars in the final for the men. Josimar Caldwell of Columbia, 15.033. Good score, but not enough. So he's currently in third. It's still Sam Mikulik who leads the way in the men's parallel bars. And here's the 26-year-old from Russia, David Belyovsky, the bronze medalist on parallel bars, 2017 at Worlds.
And yes, he's great here. Watch these elements. He goes from upper arm, and that one, he opened the door, and then a step forward again. When you do these skills, you need to land exactly in a handstand, and that first major skill, he absolutely did not. David was another step right there, was the front runner going into the last event, high bar at the World Championships. Came off the bar, ended up fourth, finishing out of the medals, and he really had it. It was another hand placement. Just hasn't looked as sharp here as he did last year. Hop on the landing. Should not change the top order in this parallel bar final.
He is the World Olympic bronze medalist on parallel bars. It's actually knocked out of
15.033 in qualifying, sixth best. And here's a look at some of the effort in the final.
So let's see, didn't even come close to a handstand on that last skill. And then form, right here you see his legs come apart.
on the big screen.
That was nice. But when you compare it to the routines we've seen so far, you know, this is an unbelievable exercise. But world finals, when everybody is knocking it out of the park, my book, I have him in fourth place at this point in time.
Well, you know, and it really comes down to the execution. When you're able to make, you know, the finals on any event, your difficulty score is clearly, it's difficult enough, but it's that execution. Every single tenth of a point matters. We have seen it all week long with all of the ties and such, you know, close standings on so many events.
You said fourth? It is fourth. Good man. 14.633. Belyovsky from Russia. So you've got Sam Mikulik, yet another one he watches go by. And he's trying to medal for the first time. I know we said it, but that has been his focus. I mean, at least throughout the entire year. We talked to him early in the season. He said, that's what I'm looking at doing.
Oh, I'm sure even longer.
Yeah, exactly.
He has long been known as one of the top gymnasts in the world, but just has not been able to put it all together in competition.
Some big names still to come, though, including this man, Oleg Vernayev from Ukraine, a three-time world medalist on parallel bars, the gold in 2014, silver in 15, and last year in Montreal.
And the reigning Olympic champion on this event. He has battled with a number of injuries and some surgeries. Really beautiful. Has just, he'll get a deduction for pausing in that handstand on one rail. But he can fly, as you'll see right here. Oh, tremendous. This is a clean routine. And he wanted to go back into the middle of the bars. Really no deduction for what he did, though. Maybe a tenth of a point. Just the dismount. Oh, baby. That was tremendous.
You know, as you said, right before that dismount, not a deduction to add that, but it certainly takes a lot more strength to do at the very end of your routine. An extra press handstand doesn't look that difficult, but when the routine's that long, so many skills, sure does make it a little more challenging to get that dismount.
Especially when you've got injuries, too. You saw him kind of grab his arm, his shoulder there at the end.
Yeah, he's been icing it, taping it all week long, in between events even.
This is so hard to fly through the air and land on one bar like that and then do the skill. And this was tremendous.
There's the tip out, pressing to the...
In the all-around finals, started off so great. I believe after three, he was the leader Then he went to high bar, a very challenging event on the shoulders. Had some real difficulties and then was grabbing his shoulder at the end. That's not a stick, I don't think. There was a little bit of movement there, but...
Not a step, but a little slide.
Yeah, that was tremendous, though.
And that was a hug from Mikulik. The current leader, until we get these numbers, we'll see. No longer. Number 1, 15.591, Oleg Vernayev, Olympic champ and success on the world level and looking to win gold again. Vernayev, Mikulik, and Lin Xiaopan, the top 3, and 3 more to go.
3 more routines to go to come in this men's parallel bars final.
So a little more than 0.3 of a point back to Mikulik after that routine from Vernayev. Dorney watching.
You like to see that?
Yep.
You know, I mean, in gymnastics, there's the Russian and the Ukrainian. They're very good friends at different points in the history. The Russian Federation has tried to get Oleg to switch over to their side. He has remained Ukrainian. This routine, though, it is unbelievable.
The reigning world champ, Zhu Jingwan from China.
Very nicely done. So challenging, difficulty-wise. But he's pausing there, and you're not supposed to do that. Probably a 10th on both of those. Oh! And that is what we saw David Belyavsky struggle on a little bit. You can't do it any better than he has. Little bit of an arch. It'll be another 10th of a point. Oh! Get ready to be shot out of a cannon. Watch this. Wow. Oh. Oleg has a big number. But if he puts this to his feet, same dismount we've seen from a number of athletes, this will be your leader. Oh.
There it is.
Wow, look at all of the other gymnasts. It's just, you know what? You can't beat Rise Guang on vault if he hits his vaults, and you can't beat this guy.
Zhu Jingwan, the reigning world champion on parallel bars, and what an effort there. Had them shaking their heads, and not just the fans, but the other athletes.
Scored a stratospheric 16.2 in the team finals.
A very artistic performance. I think we can almost set it to music.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Just really picture perfect. I feel like if you could take a picture any second of that routine, the body position right on top of the bar in a handstand, exactly what the judges are looking for.
He doesn't just make the straddle front 1 1/4. He makes it easily. And that is what you're striving to do in gymnastics. You are, oh, baby. I mean, that is gorgeous. Just stunning. And the dismount, better form than we've seen from any competitor in the air. And a perfect.
That's great. That is terrific.
You see Belyavsky, it was like, oh, geez, that's not possible.
That's just respect right there.
And I counted 4 old babies from our man.
Yep. He loves it.
And the judges' verdict is in.
This will be a big no. Oh, look at this. 16.433 off the charts.
And a 9.433 execution in today's...
Look, they're still talking about it.
In today's world, that is unheard of.
Difficulty score of 7.0. Execution.
Zhu Jingwan, the leader over Oleg Vernayev, and Sam Mikulik right now holding on to that 3rd spot, but we have 2 more to go here in the parallel bar final. Lucas Dauser, the next, the 25-year-old from Germany. Got some fans out there. 14.933, the qualifying number. So it was not one of the best and nowhere near what we've seen.
I would say they might be a little easier on the execution scores in the final. Every judging panel is different. Very nicely done. So hard. And another one right there. A little bit of a pause, but that right there, very big error. And I would say with that mistake, Sam Mikulak's third position will remain intact. Absolutely, he should definitely remain there.
Lukas Dauser from Germany, so we'll get his numbers and see if the standings stay where they are in terms of the top three. Excellent performance from Mikulik to lead off the parallel bars in the final for the men. One last man to go. Artur Dalaloyan, the all-around champ, as Mikulik tries to hold on to medal at Worlds. All right, so back for the final man on parallel bars, and it's Artur Dalaloyan. Lukas Dauser, by the way, 13.7 and 7th. So if Mikulik is going to medal, it comes down to this. He's currently in third place.
He fell on that skillet in the team final. Nicely done so far. Little bit of a hop. That's a 1/10 of a point. Nicely done. Big release. Full spin on one arm called a Healy. The one issue with gymnastics scoring, if there is a trend and you are later up in the lineup, the scores tend, if they do anything, to escalate. Hop on the landing there, but wow. Besides that, very error-free. Had one little shift in the handstand position, but he knows how tight this race is. No way is he going to challenge that young man right there.
Zhu Jingwan, the top man, 16.433. Forget about that, perhaps. Oleg Vernayev in second. And Sam Mikulik holding on to third place. The last place he wants to be is fourth. You've described that as the worst. And
the absolute worst.
He has suffered that a couple of times this week.
Yeah, it is the worst. But I'll tell you what he did in the all-around finals is he made the mistake. He took himself out. What he has done on his last two events, pommel horse yesterday and then parallel bars today, he has put up the best effort that he can do.
Guys, this is going to be close.
Yeah,
it's going to be very close.
Absolutely. And like I said, the scores, they tend to rise. Sam Mikulak had that first opening routine for the parallel bar finals. He knows it's going to be close too.
Here we go to scores.
Here we go. 15.233. It's what he needs, and he gets it. 15.366. Artur Dalaloyan gets the third spot, and it bumps Mikulik down to fourth again. Oh, my gosh. Zhu Jingwan, the winner. Once again, he was dominant today from China. Oleg Vernayev in second, and Artur Dalaloyan rounding out the top three.
Heartbreaking for Sam, but like I said, he did his job. It's just the judges. I actually could have seen Sam and that last routine being just about the same level.
Wow. Coming up short again. He's fourth in the pommel horse and the team this week. A couple of times individual finals throughout his career, and It's that man who was triumphant today. Yu Jingwan from China, the gold for Naev. Getting it done with injury. The silver, and Dalaloyan just edging Mikulik out for that bronze medal. So Sam's got one more chance in the high bar. Simone Biles another chance for a 6th medal at the World Championships. The women's floor exercise coming up next from the coverage in Doha, Qatar.